Was Fresh and Fit demonetized because of Myron making monkey chants?
To understand is they said something innocuous because they're like rapists. I mean, here's a peanut.
Okay.
What do you think? Let's wait.
Does it taste like window?
Oh, you answered so fast. Good job. Wow. Okay. Hey, sit.
How do I do
No, we trained. Okay, editor, cut this part out. Hey, don't bite your fat ugly wife! Don't bite your fat ugly wife!
I need to dance. I need to get the.
Just dance. Gonna be okay.
He's flat on his toes.
And in fact, the monkey chants to me is actually more offensive, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is because the origin of the monkey chants comes from the Darwin philosophy that the white people are more evolved than the savages and the blacks, basically the Aborigines and the blacks. Just reading a quote from Darwin himself: at some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of men will almost certainly exterminate and replace throughout the world the savage races, and the savage races is described as blacks and Aborigines. This is where this to me the monkey chants were to me are more offensive, but I understand what John is saying. People don't really know about where the origin of this racism really comes from, and I believe that it comes from the idea that the white man is the more evolved race out of all the other races in the world, and it comes from Darwin. Look, I just want to say as well, I don't necessarily like Abin Preach. I don't think they're honest people. I'm sorry, I don't like them at all, not one bit.
And they're suspect guys as well. Like I think they're LGBT personally.
Wait, because I got something to say about Preach, this fucking homosexual.
Hey,
What is that?
Hey,
Is that a man? Ow! What is that?
Bumbleclaw.
What the fuck is that?
Do you boo boo?
In the islands, we say Banabati man. Straight.
do you boo boo? Do you boo boo? Oh yeah. I fucking preach. I wear lip windows for fun. I'm a fucking
Retard.
let me talk shit on the internet. I'll free you. I got a problem with you.
Like, bruh, what the fuck is going on here, you window-looking fucking retard? This dude talking about gay? What is this? Tap to the right real quick, Chris. Just hit the arrow to the side, Chris.
In Haiti, we call it masisi.
What is this? This nigga hopping around? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Masisi.
Whose man's is this? Yo, tab again.
C'est ça, masisi, no?
What? Whose man's is this?
Wait.
These are your fucking emperors?
Yo, back to my dad, man.
Yo, that's your king? That's your king?
Is this photoshopped? I don't get it.
This is real.
What the fuck?
Bro, I know. Keep going.
In Haiti, we call it masisi.
Masisi, bro.
He keeps his life.
What is going on?
He keeps his life private, though.
What else? Keep going. Next one. Bro, these fucking guys, y'all really sit here and let them hoodwink y'all for years. Meanwhile, this guy's running around in tights, dancing with ugly hoes. What the fuck is going on? Here's the thing about Preach, bro. He is fucking feminine as shit. I got a problem with you. Does these stupid ass eye rolls, be doing this shit with his hair. Bro, you are a fucking homo. Big facts.
Bro.
And here's the thing, yo. Oh, you ran for the boxing match, blah, blah, blah. Bro, the reason why I don't want to box you is because it would be a hate crime to beat up a retard. That's but guess what? These are equal opportunity for everybody. We're 1.4 M now. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Everyone, sorry, bro. Let's just say everyone that seems to side with the left is left alone. I'm sorry to say it. Everyone that seems to side with the left is left alone. Yeah. I just reckon, to me, Fresh and Fit was siding with the left because they are anti-marriage. But what peed them off, they were allowed to continue as long as they didn't mention a certain group of people.
You may get an Asian programmer, an Asian IT guy, because Asians are good at math disproportionately. That's true. You might get a Mexican landscaper because it's cheap, low-skill labor that Mexicans are performing. Jews owning all the banks is something that they have inherited over centuries and millennia because of politics and because of religion. And so if we want to talk about how that got to be, I don't think there's anything crazy about that. I think it's actually an interesting and important question because these are the decision makers in the society. It's not just people that are the legislators. We have to talk about the big money people. We got to talk about the media. We got to talk about the people in the bureaucracy. Determining their motivations and who they are is an important attribute of understanding why things are the way they are in America. The Jewish identity explains so much of it. That's the thesis.
The idea that one race has a higher IQ than another race is absolutely rubbish. It's absolute nonsense. To me, that's a racist statement, and it stems from the Darwin philosophy that one race is superior to another race due to their skin tone.
So if we agree that there are already differences that we can see, if there's physical differences, then it would follow if the brain is 50% of the human genome, it would be ridiculous to suggest that whites and blacks and Hispanics and Asians all have the same brains.
Intelligence isn't necessarily phenotypic, though.
100% is. What is intelligence? There's a stronger correlation that intelligence is genetic than so many other things. It's a heritable trait. That's not even disputed.
So let's stop there.
I would say there is no real tangible evidence that is to do with intelligence. Do you see what I'm saying? For example, yes, we have different physical structures. Like the Chinese they're smaller than, you know what I mean? The black people, there's certain races and so on and so forth. We have differences within races. Do you see what I'm saying? Like skin tone and so on. Yeah. But when it comes to intelligence, I'm sorry, but I still need to see the tangible evidence. For example, Nigerians that come over to this country, they do better than white people, every race. We all know Myron is a Muslim, right? And we know that the Muslim community doesn't favor the Jewish, they don't look at the Jewish people in a favorable way. Let's just put it that way.
The whole situation, right? And Kanye reinvigorated the JQ, right? He goes on Drink Champs, right? And he mentions that he says the Jews run the media, they run Hollywood. etc. Right? Yeah. Obviously, Drink Champs freaks out. Right, I think they cut that episode if I'm not mistaken. Right, they went wild. Right,
I think
they film it here in Miami, don't they?
Noriega, took it down. Yeah, and they had to explain to everybody why he took it down. Yeah, and did he put it back up or no, or just like a clip or edit?
He might have. He definitely took that part out. If they did, they freaked out. I know they got terrified when he said that shit.
And I'm like, yo, Nori, you're supposed to be the guy that's hitting with everybody. Why you gotta cut out Kanye? He's an icon. But once again,
you talk about that shit
in the media.
Yeah, so he says that. And then they cut it, right? They freak out.
Yeah.
Then, after the fact, I know that you partnered up with them, but they're trying to pin Kanye West's statements that you're the one that were like the master puppeteer or whatever. But if I'm not mistaken, you came on the campaign after he already made these comments, right?
Yeah, that was after DEFCON 3. That was after Drink Champs. That was after all of it. But they're
crazy.
They even did a BBC documentary. There was some BBC journalist ambushed me out there in LA because I went to go visit one of the properties.
The BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how much bullshit they are with the Andrew situation.
If you go to Rumble, there's some shows that 9/11 did with a guy called Ryan Dawson.
Yeah.
And they were about 9/11. Did you guys ever see those shows?
Yeah, I saw one.
I'm familiar with Ryan Dawson. Yeah, investigating 9/11.
Yeah, there you go. Now, those shows, they were making some really strong statements about the Israeli government, basically suggesting that Israelis were involved in 9/11.
Okay.
And other very you could call it straight up, they were anti-Semitic remarks that Ryan Dawson was saying. He was alluding to why they've been removed from certain countries. They kept calling them boys and making them money sounds when they... So when I saw that, I thought, I remember watching it and thinking, you guys are playing with a very deadly enemy. And there's going to be comeback for this. You think because you're hiding on Rumble, that the people can't see you.
We're trying to get to 500K on Rumble. So if you guys can go ahead and do us a favor and follow, and also like the video, we'd really support that. And then also follow Ryan on rumble.com as well. Rumble.com/Ryan Dawson. Is that the URL?
It is. I could tell you something else about Judy Wood and Fetzer. These people always blame Israel, and it's weird. Why are the people talking about mini nukes and direct energy weapons also say it's the Israelis? Because they want the narrative about Israeli involvement in 9/11 to be associated with these outlandishly weird conspiracies. So they think, oh, you think Israel did 9/11? You believe in DEW weapons and mini nukes? Ha ha ha.
Okay.
You see that? That's on purpose.
To describe. Okay, I see what you're saying. Controlled opposition, man. Controlled opposition.
It is. It's controlled opposition
all the time.
They do this. They always want some. They either get someone who's absolutely crazy or has some unforgivable social ill to make the argument.
I don't see Fresh and Fit turning into a political podcast. Now, why fumble the bag? Why put yourself in? Don't get me wrong. They're rich. They have money. But it's almost just like, why set up your own self-destruction?
No. They're not. They've started to create they're creating their own business now, because I think there's more potential money outside YouTube of the notoriety of being kicked off YouTube in their kind of sphere now.
That's
okay, so they're going to move into a new studio.
Oh.
They've got a new deal with Rumble. They've got new subscriptions on Rumble. Yeah, they're going to lose a lot of six-figure YouTube AdSense probably, but I think in the long term they're going to make it back.
So do you think the people like for example, they've been interviewing people that have been banned from YouTube but are on Rumble? So it seems like even though people are banned on YouTube, they still need to get to YouTube. And do you think like Rumble's gonna get their money back by investing in these guys that like Fresh and Fit?
And guys, we the channel has been kicked off the YouTube Partner Program. Just keep it straight with
If you look right now, you can't even super chat or
you can't even super chat right now.
Yep.
So this is the beginning of the end of this era.
So we are in trolling chat. So
yeah. So you literally can't. Yeah, man. So it's so basically we're gonna figure out what's going on, because we don't even really know all the details. We're working with YouTube to try to come to a middle ground and work together and figure this out. But for now,
we don't even know why.
We don't know the specific reason.
But we don't in any form or fashion hate YouTube or want to go at them. We're just saying, you know what, we wish we knew the reason why, but we respect, for them to use the platform and keeping us here for a while, and we appreciate it.
Because Myra's allegiance is to Islam, and Islam has certain views towards certain groups of people, I think that's what's getting the best of him. I think that's the reason why he's saying what he's saying. I think that's the reason why he's going into the fields, into these political talking points. I think that because it's been eating at him for so long, and he's tired of the whole relationship talk. Like, I mean, come on. If you watch the Fresh and Fit show, right? It's the same show every night. Yeah. Literally. I mean,
it becomes repetitive.
It's so repetitive, bro.
And don't forget, he's written his book now, so he's said all he can say, and he's done all the research he can research. Unless there's some new discovery, he's conquered it. Right.
Just to round things off, I just want to say that I think Fresh and Fit has been a bit of a it's been a revolutionary concept idea of having a men's space, obviously taken on from what Kevin Samuels did, and they did it in a unique way that people on the internet haven't really seen before, and they've got a massive loyal support base. So to be honest, they're going to be all right.
They're going to be all right.
Whatever happens, even if they quit their podcast all together, they're still going to be all right. So, still, I've still got a place in my heart for Fresh and Fit. They've taught me a lot and opened my eyes up a lot to about stuff. And at the end of the day, they're normal human beings. They make mistakes.
That's fair.
And they're trying to work. They're trying to work their future out. So best of luck to them.